So just so everybody here knows, this is being recorded on another camera as well. So if we go back and forth, now you know. But I'm really excited to have spent my day today with Jalpa Merchant. Did I say
Merchant.
That? Merchant.
Like Merchant of Venice.
Oh yeah, there you go. She's a merchant of diamonds, actually.
Yes.
We have coined her the diamond goddess. And Jalpa actually, her and her partner just started a business called Fifth and Fine. Mm-hmm. And how would you describe your business?
So it's a fine jewelry concierge, and we specialize in diamonds. And because of partnerships that my partner has and connections in the industry that I've built over the past 20 years, we are able to get some of the best prices in the industry for solitaire diamonds and gemstones.
Yeah, she owns diamond mines. And
stuff
she
has partnership in diamond mines. Yeah, it's grassroots level pricing, which. With the internet world, we have consumers that are already very aware of what diamond pricing should be, and we're able to beat pretty much every price out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what I did with Jalpa today is she came over to my house. I actually had an old gold bracelet and some sapphires and stuff like that,
and an emerald,
that I didn't really use. So she's basically taking that and repurposing it, and we came up with some awesome ideas.
Yeah.
She created this entire Pinterest board for us or for me, and I love it. I was telling Brandon, we're in the wrong business. So much fun. So let's talk about, how did you find your diamond goddess superpowers? I know you used to work for David Yurman.
Yes, so I worked with David Yurman for 7 years, and it's in the industry they call David Yurman years as dog years. So it's I spent a lot of time there. I used to run their product development and traveling a lot with them, and I'd been married for about 5-6 years when we started trying to get pregnant, and the traveling, the stress, the politics at work. I had several miscarriages, and I was just really burnt out. And so I decided to take some time off. And the struggles of trying to get pregnant took a toll on my marriage and my friendships. And I felt like I was losing control of my life, control of doing what I love doing, and also not being able to have what other women around me were having, children.
Yeah.
And so along the process of trying to figure out what it is that I want to do next, someone offered me a consulting gig. And I was like, well, this kind of fills the void that I have with my passion, which is jewelry. Right. I started doing that, and really work saved me. My jewelry design and merchandising saved me, because 6 months after that I got pregnant. And that's when I realized that manifestation works. And you and I have talked about this several times. Manifestation works, and believing that you can make something happen and miracles happen in your everyday life works. And that's how it all started.
And can we talk about that for a little bit?
Sure.
So you and I have had this conversation before, and this is why I like bringing these stories of real women that are out there. Real women, we don't have perfect lives.
Yeah.
We have struggles. We have struggles of every kind, I feel like. And sometimes I feel like those stories don't get told. And I love your story because you had a very serious health condition, and you were told you cannot get pregnant. Don't even try it, you know, and you were like, screw you. I'm going to have a kid.
In those many words.
So tell us real quick a little bit about that.
So like I mentioned, I had 3 miscarriages, and then after that, for 3 years, I just wasn't getting pregnant. So I have a PhD on doctors in the city because I saw so many of them. And one of them said that don't even bother trying, because if you do get pregnant, you're going to bleed to death. You're not going to be able to carry the pregnancy to term, and if you do, you're going to bleed to death. And I remember that was that one day that I cried more than I ever have in my life. Mm. And my husband at that point said that maybe we can adopt, or maybe, consider a surrogate. And And I said, no, if it's the last thing that I do in my life, I'm having a baby. That's it. Like, no one tells me. No one puts baby in a corner, right? So it's like, I'm doing this.
Certainly not Jalpa. No. You do not put her in a corner.
So, yeah. And that's when I discovered the book, The Secret.
Yes.
And that was the start of my journey with manifestation. And I just started having positive thoughts and trying to channel my energy into making sure that,
And what do you think was the number one thing that you did to manifest your son?
I just started imagining what it would be like to be a mother, what my life would be like. And then because I was then consulting, I started having these ideas of how I could start my own business. So I was building a life around what my life would be a few years after, which is a mom. My mother's an eye doctor, and she was just always around.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be that kind of a mother, and I wanted to make sure that I was bringing my son to soccer and to his gymnastics class, and that's pretty much what I did.
The visualization part, I think, is so important. And so we talk about that in the Lady Savant method. We have one key, which is a third key, and it's all about the science of getting what you want. And I think that doing visualization correctly is really important, but also to have the boldness to say, I'm not giving up. And if it's the last thing I do on this planet, I'm going to give birth to this kid, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever, birth to your idea, to your business, or whatever it is. But I feel like the biggest and most important element is to really have that belief and that boldness to even, because I feel like a lot of people don't believe that they deserve what they want.
Yeah, I think that, a lot of women that I've spoken to about my journey, they usually give me feedback that they're afraid to jinx it or afraid to think about it because it might jinx it.
Absolutely.
And I think that it's actually the other way around.
Yeah. And it goes back. It's very deep rooted, those kinds of things. And it's also kind of cultural, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, my mom still says, oh, don't, funny. My mom will actually put like garlic on top of the house, like in weird places in the house, because she's just so superstitious. But, that also goes back to the cultural thing. Mm-hmm. So, I always say that Jalpa is the most badass Indian woman I know. And we were talking about this a little while ago because I have so many amazing Indian friends, right? Yeah. Because I grew up in Texas and, going to college, a lot of my friends were Indian. And so I used to get asked if I was Indian. And I would get to see that. Yeah. So, but it's also a culture that is very, where the women tend to be more reserved sometimes. And you are not that girl.
No.
You are quite the rebel.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about how rebellious you are. Were you like that your whole life?
Well, yeah, much to my parents' disappointment. Well, I wanted to study gemology and jewelry design. And GIA, which is in California, is kind of like the Harvard of this industry. And so when I told my parents I wanted to come here, my mother told my dad, do not send her to the States because she will not come back.
She's wild.
More than wild, I think that I had an adventure. I always knew that I have an adventure inside of me that I needed to experience. And while all my friends were having an arranged marriage and building their perfect lives and their perfect homes and living a very comfortable life, I was, struggling. And after I came here to study, I just fell in love with the States. This was like 20 years ago. And it might have been all the movies I watched, but I wanted to go out on a date and I wanted to go grocery shopping and have a brown paper bag with a baguette in it. It was like this vision that I had. It was really strange. But yeah, and when I told my parents about that, they were like, no, you're coming back and having an arranged marriage and marrying a doctor. And I was like, yeah, that's not happening. So awesome. They finally gave in and they said the only condition would be that you don't do anything illegal. You have to find the right channels to make this happen. So moved to New York, ate lots of bananas and peanuts and paid for my work visa so that I could get a sponsorship and started building my career.
That's
and
amazing.
Eventually met my husband, and the rest is history.
Yes, you're madly in love still, so.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
I've always wondered about the arranged marriage situation, and I have friends who've done it successfully, and they're really happy, so, who knows? That's a whole nother, that's a whole nother topic.
Video.
Yes, that's absolutely. So, before we end, I love what we did downstairs, and just repurposing all of this cool jewelry, and we came up with some really awesome designs.
Yep. And we're going to show this to everyone at the next, maybe at the gala. We can have it.
Oh, yes. We are having our Lady Savant Foundation Gala on May 4th.
Yeah.
And those earrings are going to be like...
Yeah. You're going to plan your outfit around those earrings.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
So with the economy the way it is, gold is very expensive. And buying retail jewelry is, it's expensive out there. So... I found that in my interactions with other moms and other women, there's so much jewelry that sits at the back of our jewelry box that we do nothing with. We have sentimental value with these items, but we're not wearing them.
Right.
So what I do is I take a look at these pieces of jewelry and come up with some ideas on Pinterest boards, some sketches, and repurpose them and make them brand new and pretty much to your current taste level with what you're into, where you are in your life at the time that you get them remade.
Yeah, and a lot of times, it's like it pays for itself because of the gold and all of that.
We can take any broken pieces that you have, any pieces that you don't use, and pretty much use that value towards your new piece. So you're really not spending too much money on it. Unless, of course, you're going to add a lot of
diamonds and
stuff to it, but pretty much pays for itself.
I like diamonds.
Which is interesting. Yeah.
I really had a lot of fun doing that. Yeah. And I know that your current project with your business partner is really amazing. They are opening up this studio on Fifth Avenue in New York City, and it's just going to be, how guys always say, I got that guy, I have the guy who gets me my jewelry, my diamonds. So now you'll have that gal.
Yes, it's usually everyone seems to have a guy on 47th Street, and it's an intimidating process for a lot of women.
It is.
Because it's in a stuffy little office, and he's showing you 4 pieces of diamonds, and talking all this technical jargon to you which you don't understand. So really, my business partner and I want to create an environment that is kind of like buying a Birkin bag at Hermes, where they take you up to the 3rd floor and they serve you champagne, and you're dishing out $20,000 for a bag that you're on the wait list for. But with this, you're just hanging out with 2 fun, cool gals.
Coolest. Hello.
And it doesn't have to be a 4-carat diamond that you purchase with us. If you just want to come and hang out, or if you just want to get your ring sized or jewelry cleaned, it's an open door studio, so you can just come in and talk about what you might want to do for your next anniversary or your, bar mitzvah or whatever it might be.
That's so cool. I love it. And so Japa is a member of Lady Savant, and I have loved getting to know you. And you along with Dusty, who I also interviewed, we had this 4-hour ride to our retreat in November. And so I was like, I have to get this girl in front of everyone because it's so inspiring in every angle of her life. So thank you so much for sharing all of this with us. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you soon. Go out there, be bold, be brave, manifest everything that you want, because all you have to do is just say what she says. I am not living without that, and you're going to get it. So thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Nitra. So...